tuning in. Welcome to the Fast Mode video series. With me today, we have Eugenia Jordan, VP of Marketing for Parallel Wireless. Hi, Eugenia. Thank you for joining
us. How are you doing?
Today. Fine. I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing fine too.
Yep, all good. We just wrapped up a very successful MWC in my hotel room. So tired, but very excited.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So how different is this year's event from all the previous years?
That is an excellent question because you cannot compare apples to oranges. This event is happening at the tail end of the pandemic. So it was not about how many booths are there, how many visitors are there. I think the goal that MWC GSMA was trying to achieve is to bring the industry back together and show it is possible to have an event put on safely.
And absolutely,
it was very safe, and it was wonderful to see people, though they were all masked up, but it was so nice to see people from the industry. Right, the industry is so small, and we've known each other for so many years, and people from that you've known for so many years, it was just so nice. So from my personal opinion, GSMA really done well to bring this back together.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really good to hear because, there were a lot of companies who, basically took the risk to still go in with the MWC, and then we were all hoping that the show will materialize this year, and just as what we wished, it came through, and it's so great to see you guys. And then we must thank everyone who actually brought their teams together and then showcased their stuff there, and also all the guys who did exhibit virtually. But you guys made it happen, and it's really nice to see this. And really, we hope like next year it's going to be back and be big again.
Bigger and better, right?
Yes. Okay, so now to the main stuff that we want to talk about today. Okay, so Parallel Wireless, has pioneered a lot of work on Open RAN. It's like you guys have become synonymous with Open RAN now. So we see great strides in this space, owing to the push from you guys. So how far has Open RAN come in these last 2 years?
That is a really good question because we've been dealing with pandemic in the last 2 years. So I see three things happening in the Open RAN space. Thing is standards. 3G Release 15 disaggregated the site RU, DU, CU, and all Alliance started standardizing the interfaces between RU and DU, and also it standardized the interfaces and components for SMO and OCloud. What's started happening recently in the Open RAN space is more operators started to adopt those standards, request those standards from their vendors. And the Big Five in Europe, the Big Five mobile operators, they first signed an MOU about 3 months ago, and about 3 weeks ago, they released a document, technical specifications for, and it's all based on ORAN for their. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is ORAN, Open RAN deployments are happening on a wider scale. And it is important because this is what gives other mobile operators that are still on the fence confidence in deploying Open RAN. And we in Parallel Wireless were part of that movement with many operators, Millicom, Vodafone, Etisalat, just this year. And the third thing that is exciting is the new ecosystem is growing. It's not just mobile operators, hardware, software vendors, but it's also regulators, the governments. It's also the new vendors, it's cloud providers. There was a lot of announcements that came out of MWC with hyperscalers getting involved with customers like AT&T. So it's a very exciting trend because it's not only going to drive the innovation, but it's also going to drive the deployment costs down.
Wow. Okay, great. Sounds exciting. You know that the ecosystem is taking shape and it's expanding at this pace. So, what's really driving the Open RAN from an operator's perspective? How does it change the way operators design and operate their networks?
That is an excellent question. Open RAN is not a fancy technology. Open RAN, it's just an ability to build networks in a different and more innovative way. Our industry, telecom industry, has consolidated in the last 5 to 10 years. We only had 3 suppliers. And when you have 3 suppliers, it's very challenging, not only enable the innovation, but also sustain your cost. So Open RAN is just a new innovative way of building networks. It's bringing new vendors like Parallel Wireless and other companies to give mobile operators more choices. Ability to mix and match different components, and with the ability to innovate, ability to mix and match, it also comes TCO, total cost of ownership reduction. And that's why we see so many operators joining the Open RAN movement to see how they can innovate in their wireless networks.
Okay, and I suppose that need becomes even more now with 5G, yeah?
Absolutely, yes. That is a really good point because 5G is going to address different use cases, capacity use cases. Capacity means more sites, higher cost. So if mobile operators can deploy 5G at much lower cost, they can connect more users with 5G. So absolutely great point.
Okay, so then when it comes to 5G, there are certain aspects that 5G brings on board, which is things like network slicing and all the innovative use cases that it enables. So with Open RAN, how does it enhance basically the programmability and also the virtualization, which is key to enable this network slicing that 5G so very touts?
Great, another great question. So virtualization is the foundation of Open RAN. Software-defined networks are virtualized by definition. Network functions, RAN network functions, they go on COTS servers. And virtualization is the ability not only to drive the cost down, but also innovate in the RAN through containers, deploy new services much faster, and innovate with other IT principles. And this is where programmability and automation come in. With DevOps, mobile operators can implement AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to bring those new capabilities and enable network slicing. And this is where ORAN Alliance comes in as well, because REAC, near real-time intelligent controller, and also non-real-time intelligent controller. This is where they come in with taking the data in from the network and providing the best subscriber experience, not only for the end users like you and I, but also for the businesses and for different type of services.
Yes, absolutely. So when we have this, huge value proposition from Open RAN, especially for 5G, for not just service providers, but also the enterprises. But what are the challenges that are in the way of Open RAN deployments, and how do you see the industry and all the stakeholders addressing them?
Before I came to Barcelona, I ran a LinkedIn poll. Actually, I ran 2. One was on challenges in Open RAN, and another was on opportunities. So, and I surveyed my LinkedIn network, service providers, operators, vendors, hardware, software, been in the industry for a while. And the main challenge that they saw for Open RAN was the still growing ecosystem. What the industry needs to do, it needs to bring more vendors on the radio side, on the server side, on the software side, but it didn't end just there. The comments that I received from my network, they stated that the ecosystem needs to include system integrators. It needs to include regulators. It needs to include the governments, because with 5G, the main goal is to connect more people. So the ecosystem needs to be much larger and bring 5G not just to large cities like New York City or Barcelona, where I am right now, but also to other villages and other communities that deserve 5G. So this is the challenge. But the challenge, there's always an opportunity, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest opportunity is the innovation. And what it means is innovation drives interoperability, ability to mix and match components from different vendors. And this is what my LinkedIn followers saw as the biggest opportunity for Open RAN, innovation driven by the new ecosystem.
Yes, very exciting for everyone, I suppose. Yeah, I remember coming across some of your questions that you have posted on the network, and we read all these responses, and indeed we can see so much interest, and there's a lot of inquisitiveness among even new players as to how Open RAN is going to be beneficial for them and how they can take advantage of all the capabilities that it offers. So excellent. That's a lot of great insights on Open RAN in such a short time. A topic that will surely command a lot of attention as we build networks for the future. So thank you, Eugenia, for sharing this and for joining us today.
Thank you to the Fast Mode for having me and being so flexible while we are at MWC. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. And to those listening in, you can follow Parallel Wireless at www.parallelwireless.com. So thank you and see you again.
Thank you.